heyday, racing professional into now, what's been the biggest change besides the motorcycles, obviously, but what is it the mindset? Is it a me only thing kind of mindset, or what's been a big radical change that you've seen?
Well, obviously the bikes, like you said, is the biggest change. Guys still train as hard as we did back in the day. Social media has been a huge change. I mean, dude, you don't even have to watch the race. You can just watch social media and check everything out. But I was just talking about this on the podcast yesterday. There's no way in holy hell that I could do what those guys do now. Like, I had to do everything by myself. I trained by myself. I rode by myself. And now, I mean, all these guys, they ride together. Half of them ride together 4 days a week and then go race on the weekends. There's no way I could do that. I don't know how all those factory Husky guys and KTM guys and now Gas guys all ride at one or two training facilities and ride together every day and then go bicycling every day. The sport's changed a bunch, but that's one thing that I brought up yesterday. There's no way I could have ever done that. I couldn't hang out with Jean-Michel Bale 4 days a week and train and ride and then have to race him on the weekend. It'd drive me insane.
I love it because first I didn't know where you were going with that, and then it flipped. It's the competitive nature. Yeah. It's the competitive nature.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you're training with all your teammates and you're riding, you want to beat your teammates. I mean, right? I mean, you're not going to give them any secrets, right?
Absolutely. And how do you do that when you're riding with them 4 days a week?
Yeah.
So it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. It's nothing like it used to be, and it's all good. Hey, the racing's great. The reviews are great. As we know, the industry in itself has been on the downside for a couple of years. You can't buy a bike now or a used bike just because of the situation that we're in. Side by sides, four wheelers. What a great year for championship. They've sold out everything.
Yeah.
But I see Deegan on his podcast was complaining about it yesterday, and I don't respond to too many people, and I didn't respond to him, but it's like, gosh, they've sold everything out, all side by sides, four wheelers, everything. Well, why isn't that money coming back to the riders? Well, this is the reason why they sold all of them out. Okay. They had 3 or 4 lackluster years, so they didn't make as many units. Okay. So yes, last year they sold out all the units, but maybe they only sold 200,000 units in the United States, where 10 years ago they were selling 500,000 units. Okay. So maybe they should make more in the next couple of years to see if they can sell more. Who knows? But that's my rant. You got to understand the whole picture that, they sold everything out, but they didn't produce as many for a couple of years because they was years where they didn't sell as many. So you have to look at the whole picture and understand the whole thing. But it's fun to watch the racing.
It's simple.
Go ahead.
Simple supply and demand, right? I mean, it's
absolutely
goes, yeah.
That makes the world go around, and they were supplying more than the demand was, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and then now this year with COVID and stimulus money, everybody went out and bought and spent it, which is good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, I just sold 2 used bikes in 20 minutes. I put them on Marketplace. They were gone.
Yeah. Listen. I had a
upgrade. I'm looking to upgrade here shortly, so it's been great to just put them on there and they go like nothing. But so good for us anyway. Back to you. We were talking about the changes, and how about the track side of life? What have you seen in the track, good, bad, whatever, on how the tracks are when you were competing to what you see today?
Well, they had to change the tracks a little bit to adapt the style of the 4-stroke. When the 4-strokes first came around, everybody was on them. They opened up the tracks a little more, made them a little wider. They groom them a little too much for me now. I want to go back to what they do in Europe, man. Start off with a fresh track practice and just leave it. Let the ruts stay as ruddy and deep as they are. Don't, if you got to do the first turn, okay, but leave it alone. Let it get rough and gnarly. And for the outdoors, the main man will shine, So
I want you to repeat that again so the riders that come to MX Express can hear this. Because as soon as I get a rut or so, it's like, oh, are you going to groom it? And we leave her go. And then usually, well, Jeff Walker, they come over. They usually come. We open on Tuesday night, so Tuesday afternoon in the evening. So Jeff might come out and run a fresh track for an hour or two, but he comes Wednesday. He waits till Wednesday, and he comes back over and spends the afternoon at the track on Wednesday when it's tore to pieces. So
right,
we rip deep, and we rip her deep. We leave her, some heavy ruts in that thing. So
absolutely, and for the Supercross guys now, I mean, I worked with Justin Barsha for 3 years there, and Dad would prep the track every night. I'm like, dude, let that track go. Let it go for 3 or 4 days. I mean, having a fresh prep track every day, it's like being on fresh asphalt every day. Let the ruts get developed. I mean, you have to practice like it's lap 18 of the 20 lap main, some kickers on the jumps and all the ruddy turns. And so, I get many laps as I do, you want to keep them safe, but you got to know how your bike's going to react in those situations on a ruddy, deep ruddy turn and kicker bumps and kicker jumps. You got to know how to set your bike up. You got to know how to react in them situations. And so, a little too much fluffing and buffing in today's world.